This is Lewis Hart for Boxing Social in association with Empire Fight Store. Always a pleasure to be joined by Mark Tibbs here on a nice Wednesday afternoon. Mark, how's things, mate? How are you?
Lovely, Louis. All good, mate. Very warm in here today, but still cracking on.
Absolutely, for sure. It can't be as warm as the last couple of days, but yeah, as you say, it's been a busy summer for the stable. I guess for someone like yourself, you haven't really stopped. You've always had guys with dates, so yeah, enjoying how the summer's gone so far.
Yeah, it's been pretty. I was out in Fuerteventura, where I held a couple of training camps a few years back over lockdown. So I went back there with Johnny Fisher. We had a little change of scenery, touch base with Adam Bailey over there in Calessa di Fasti in their gym. Superb facilities over there. And I had a week there with my family too, so it was lovely. And yeah, had a really good time there. Come back and obviously straight back in the gym, getting ready for September the 28th
Yeah.
and September the 27th.
Yeah, definitely. It's an exciting time. I guess especially with someone like Johnny, who, as you say, in that training camp there, I see him on holiday the other day actually as well, and he was in training, sort of training every day there. So when you've got guys like that who you don't really have to motivate them to train, it must be a nice feeling. It must make your job a lot easier.
Yeah, well, it is. It's lovely to see. Where they've got a good work ethic. It's not taxing for me, but you have to reel them in, really reel them in sometimes because we don't want to burn people out. There's a process in a training camp, and there's a beginning, there's a middle, and there's an end. It's
Yeah,
important to have a beginning, a middle, and an end for longevity as well. And
yeah.
otherwise, a fighter can push stale. It's been known a lot. Fighters go stale. They're working too hard, too constant.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and I guess Johnny's the first guy we'll go into. He's on September 28th, I believe. He's taking on Andrii Rudenko. In a good fight, a guy who's definitely ideally to going to take him round. So yeah, a nice old step up for Johnny. Yeah, after the Babic fight.
100%, Louis. It's a real step up because of the wealth of experience and the guys he's faced, Rudenko. Prior to in his career, he's probably had 45 fights over his career. He's boxed Zhang, he's boxed Huey Fury, he's boxed Caballero, he's boxed some good names in there. So he does know his way around the ring, and I feel this guy's going to give Johnny some well needed fighting rounds, real time rounds, and he's going to learn on the job, Johnny, and he's gonna look good as well. He's going to look good.
Definitely. When with a guy like Rudenko as well, where it's always a cliche that you want Johnny to get rounds in, but is there also an importance that Johnny also, whilst getting rounds in, which you'd be confident that Rudenko would do that with him, important that they're good and competitive rounds well. It's not just sort of Johnny just punching, sort of having a punching bag. Is there an importance in that you want someone that is not only tough but also quite a live opponent as well?
Well, you worded that really well, actually, Louis, because where he's live, he won't admire his work. He moves on to the next moves. He's flowing. He's like water. He's always flowing, Rudenko, and he'll always be there unless you hit him hard and fast and accurate. I mean, you can't admire your own work as well because something will come back. So I've gone through things like that with Johnny in the last couple of days. I will step it up next week and get on him as in like sparring wise, and he will have some good sparring to try and replicate Rudenko for sure. Yeah.
Definitely, yeah. And for someone like Johnny, who he's as humble as they come, you know what I mean? Like no matter how many times you spend around him, he'll always sort of always be quite humble. But is there an importance that, especially on this journey, because after the Babic fight, it's easy for people to get carried away and sort of go away from the process. So no matter how good the performances are, it's almost there is an importance to stick to the plan as well.
Yeah, well, Johnny's is well and truly got his feet on the ground because of his surrounding people he's around. I like to think that we play a part in that. His father and mother are great people to keep him very very grounded. he had to enjoy a celebration of that fight because there was a lot of pressure in that fight, believe it or not. I mean, I just thought, you know, with all due respect, I thought it was the right fight and it ain't going to be hard. And we proved it weren't going to be hard. But because Babic was a game street fighter, so to speak, you know, there's always a danger. And he's got a big fighting art, Babic. So you just got to get your right shots off at the right time. And sometimes, in Johnny's case, beat him to the punch. And he went and did that in emphatic fashion. He surprised me. I thought Babic should give him 4 to 6 rounds, but so credit to Johnny and the hard work he puts in. Yeah,
definitely. And you know, Johnny now is in that conversation where he's getting linked to other domestic guys in the division. A name that he sort of got linked to was Derek Chisora. Obviously, he's coming off the Joe Joyce win. And do you ideally sort of think that's a realistic name for Johnny to sort of aim for or to make?
well, I think it'd be a great fight for Johnny. Listen, look, Johnny himself still got to build his stock. Get me? You know, Derek's in big fights compared to Johnny at the minute, but it won't be too far. John's on their tail. Trust me. Yeah, and time. You know, please God, we look good against Rudenko. I hear we could go to Australia, which I can't wait and look forward to that.
Yeah.
And then let's see where Johnny is in his fighting technique and style and how he's operating. And do you know what? I'd welcome fights. Derek Chisora for sure. It's a great fight for Johnny Fisher. But listen, one step at a time. Let's deal with Rudenko and see how he comes through with Rudenko. And obviously, you know, if the Australia job comes off, we got to, you know, face an opponent for that. So I like the fight, as I've always say, one fight at a time. But it's nice to look forward. It is too, Louis. But you know, and I believe Derek's got. He's fighting. Who's he fighting next? He's fighting. Is it?
He was saying Tony Bellew.
Oh right. So he ain't
I don't think that's happening. Yet, so. Yeah. No, he's not fighting anyone yet. But I think that was tongue in cheek.
Yeah. Well, listen. Let's hope he hangs about for Fisher.
Yeah. Let's hope. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Obviously, there's another guy on September 28th from your stable, Giorgio Visioli, with an impressive performance on the Fisher Babic undercard. Yeah, he sort of got the rounds in, as we were saying previously, and there were live rounds against that opponent where he had to be wary of the guy in front of him. Yeah, so excited to see Giorgio back in and continue his development as the good pro that he could definitely be.
Over the moon with Visioli in his how busy he's been. Credit to his management and Matchroom Boxing for keeping him busy because man's got everything but experience and he needs that experience, but he's going to the very, very top. You know, I don't like to talk like this, but he's got a great boxing fighting brain, and he's not afraid to commit, and he's not afraid to commit, but he understands. You know, there's a process too in getting them rounds and experience. Very good fighter, Giorgio. I'm already ringing people around the country, top sparring for this fight, as we always do domestically, like, you know what I mean. But yeah, it's proving difficult. They've had a bit of him before, but we'll see.
And obviously, he's not the only guy out that weekend. On the Friday before that is obviously Joel Bartell coming off the defeat to Jordan Reynolds. I see he's also changed up his hairstyle. He's got like a tash now, and yeah. So I guess you could say a whole new level of Joel Bartell coming off of that defeat to Jordan Reynolds. Would you say?
Well, listen, that was a very, very close fight with Jordan, and it was a great fight and a close fight. You know, longevity-wise, and it's probably, you know, takes a little bit out of you them fights. But listen, I'm every bit of confidence. He's linked up with Callie and Nisa Sowland on the Channel 5 show, which is great. Something good's come out of that loss, that close loss. Something good's come out of that, and want to thank Nisa Sandland himself for giving Joel the opportunity. Yeah, great guy, great people. Nisa and Callie for sure for giving Joel the opportunity. And no, Joel's been in today with Giorgio and Johnny Fisher, and they're all working different slots, but they're getting ready for these fights. Yeah,
definitely. Yeah. Do have to also ask about Hedges and Fisher, not Hedges, sorry, Hedges and Fletcher, both your cruiserweights. Yeah, I guess what's the latest with them? Obviously, Hedges being out in July, but Fletcher last out in May. So
Hedges has been in the gym. He's been ticking over, maintaining. He's been ticking over, maintaining. He's due in tomorrow and Friday. And no, I saw him a couple of days ago actually, and he looks well. When I mean he looks well, he ain't had his fight, won his belt, and blown up. He looks together. I think he got a modelling job with Armani. I think he's open for another gig. That's why he's open for waiting. He should do. He's got the eye. He's got the looks. I still think a crop will suit him, as in haircut crop.
yeah. That's brilliant. But yeah,
and Tommy Fletcher.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Big up to his management for putting him into. He's had his tonsils out. He had an inflamed throat for the last 2 years, and it come to a point where he kept getting infections and run down. I said, listen, you can't fight no more, Tommy, till you have them out. Get them out. You'll be twice the man, twice the fighter. Trust me. He's been in the last couple of days. He's building up again. He's got to put a bit of weight on, and we're building him up again. And he's looking to fight. His management informs me he could be fighting. He should be fighting. He's got 2 dates, actually. But I want him to have the latest date in October. Yeah, okay. On the Queensbury show, yeah. So look out for Tommy Fletcher getting the thumbs up the fight in late October.
Absolutely, exciting times. Just sort of moving away from the stable, Mark. There was a few things that I wanted to ask you about. Obviously, it was the conclusion of the Olympics this past weekend, and obviously the boxing Olympics was one that was quite controversial. I don't know how much you saw of it, or of the whole tournament. Yeah, I guess did you see any of it?
No, I didn't actually. I was at a fishing show with Jess Harding, and the only fight I saw was when I went to my hotel room. I saw Delicious in it.
Yeah.
Is that guy the heavyweight?
Yeah.
I saw Delicious's fight. That's the only fight I saw. And then I heard
one thing I actually did want to ask you. You would have seen a lot of fighters that have come through the GB setup, come through the Olympic setup. And a lot of talk is obviously there's been a fallout of the International Boxing Association and the IOC about Olympics, the boxing in the Olympics in 2028 for Los Angeles. How damaging for the sport do you think it could be where we won't see boxing in the Olympics for the foreseeable future?
Oh, it's ridiculous. If they're going to ban, for what reason? Tell me, Louis. For what reason they want to ban boxing for the Olympics? Tell me.
So the issue is with the IOC and the IBA, there was a fallout where there was a fallout with the IBA where the IOC had a lot of accusations to them about corruption and all sorts of different things. Obviously, the IBA are a Russian-led organisation as well, which the IOC took concern to about sort of the money that was coming in. Obviously, it was a Russian-funded business and stuff like that. And obviously, there was all the issue with the judges and all different stuff like that. So in 2024, and I think they've done it in 2021 as well, the IOC independently ran the boxing in the Olympics. So that's how in 2024, Iman Khalif, who was the Algerian boxer who we were referencing previously, that's how she boxed in the tournament, because the IBA actually banned her, but the IOC didn't ban her. But the issue going forward is if there isn't going to be like a secondary governing body, and there is, which is called World Boxing, but they like sort of their funding isn't like, no one knows how much their funding is and this and that. So no one knows how much they're trusted. So it's almost like they may run out of time. But that's the whole issue when it comes to the boxing in the next Olympics.
So politics and money are going to fuck it up for the people, for the sport we love. to put it right. Yeah, is that what you're
Yeah,
saying?
that's in a short answer. Yeah, that's basically it. Politics and money.
Yeah, politics and money, same old, same old.
Yeah,
What do you do? Listen, boxing's too big for not to be a part of our Olympics. So let's hope it gets sorted. I'm sure it will.
definitely. I hope so as well.
Someone's got to come on board and get amongst them governing bodies and get it sorted for sure.
Mhm.
Because we've been enjoying the Olympic boxing for years and years and years and years, and why should we have it taken away from us over politics and corruption?
Yeah.
Breathe,
That's all it is, mate. Unfortunately,
breathe,
yeah, yeah,
fuckers.
yeah, definitely. But yeah, just before I do let you go, Mark, sort of another topic I did want to talk to you about. Obviously, we've got Fury Usyk 2 coming up in December. Yeah, Carl Froch done a video a couple of weeks ago, and he talked about the idea of Fury potentially retiring if he doesn't get a victory over Oleksandr Usyk. From your opinion, do you think that the idea of Fury retiring over 2 losses to Usyk a possibility?
Well, listen, everyone's got to retire sometimes. At some
Mhm.
point, not sometimes. Everyone has to retire at some point.
Yeah.
So if he underperforms, I'm very sure that Tyson Fury's smart enough to know what's what and where he's at in his career. If that answers your question, Louis.
Definitely, yeah. And when it comes to that, where you're going into a rematch against a guy where obviously you struggled with later parts of the round, but Fury's been pretty open about where he felt like he'd done wrong. Do you feel like that almost when you approach a rematch, it's easier where you understand the mistakes that you've done and to iron them out, I guess?
Say it again, Louis. Say it again, mate.
Does when you approach a rematch from a Fury point of view, where he's been open about understanding the mistakes that he's made and he's been open about it, does it make a rematch against Usyk easier, would you say, or the game plan easier where you know almost what you're preparing for?
Well, I think it was very clear where Tyson went wrong. I know you can't take nothing away from Usyk, but it was very clear, very, very clear. I was in Texas myself. We watched it in 100 degrees heat on a big live screen, and I remember that, and it was frustrating for myself, and I could see that Tyson was lost his way, in that fight, and if he had stuck to what he was doing, and I think he got carried away with a right uppercut instead of a straight right hand, I think he would have been more in the fight. He did lose his way a bit, if that answers your question. And if he's been vocal about where he went wrong, I don't think that matter. No, they're
Okay.
two both superior fighters intellectually, if you know what I'm saying. And if someone's over the hill, they're over the hill. There's nothing to do. Youth.
Would you
They're
say?
both the youth. Listen, if they're both youth has gone, it's gone. But I feel that Tyson's got the equipment and the know-how to get the job done. I really believe, and I would still be back in Tyson Fury. Yeah.
Definitely, yeah. Mark, as always, a real pleasure to be speaking to you. Always good to catch up with you, mate. And yeah, I'm sure it won't be too long since we're catching up again. But yeah, always a pleasure, mate. Really appreciate it. Top man.
Thanks, Louis.
Top
Take
man.
care.